Hey guys, so welcome to the next section. This section is all about communication, as you would have already read by the title. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the main key concepts in communication in the game. So the main concepts being your tone, you being concise, and then you also calling numbers, like being detailed about all that information. So these are the main things. So tone is like really important in game. Whenever you're communicating with the other player. So let's just say you're B short or cat on Mirage, and then you walk up, and then there's two people top mid. You see them, and then you die. I mean, you kill one, you get traded, and then you call you just normally you would go like two people top mid, or like one guy top mid, one guy dead. So those are like really long calls. Also, you have to maintain your tone with that, so you don't have to go like all out like, oh, two guys top mid. You guys should like stay calm overall and be like, oh, two guys top mid, one dead. But still, that's a huge call. So what I suggest you guys do is like cut down your calls. So be like one top mid, that's it. One guy's dead. They can read probably, hopefully in fact. Also, another thing that will help you that will actually help you improve in game are the bad habits in communication in game. Like the bad habits of comms. So there's this huge issue that I've personally playing pugs or solo queuing. I've seen a lot of people, do backseat gaming. Backseat gaming is basically when you, whenever you're like somebody killed you and then in game, and then you're just like sitting and then you're watching the other person play, but then you're telling them what to do or where to go. So like for example, you're on A site on Mirage, and then you got the C4, and then there's this guy on stairs. So like I rather than going to plan that guy will be like, that guy's 10 HP, go kill him. So I think that's a really bad thing in communication overall, and that also affects other players and their mentality and their gameplay. That's I think a huge problem, and a lot of people have issues. Like they're used to it and then they can't get over this habit and stuff. Also, there's like 3 phases of the round that I'm gonna talk about in the next episode. So there's early round, mid round, and late round. So I wanted to talk about the comms that you guys can do in the early, mid, and late round. So in early round, you should call that you have money you can drop, and you should you should look at what your teammates are doing, or what your teammates can buy or where you can go. So like if you're Mirage, if you're like I don't know Inferno and you're CT, you should call that, yo, I'm gonna go banana. If anybody wants a drop, tell me, and then you should run banana ASAP. Mid round, wherever they're pushing, you should just get the call, or you should call wherever you see them. If they're on the same site as you, I think you should call, and you have to again maintain your tone, be concise, and then call how many people you see. So if you watched my streams in the past, you've seen that rather than like if I'm like Nest on Mirage and I see 2 people top mid, I would rather than 2, I would call like 3 people top mid, because I have that game sense, and I know that there would be more people if they're like pushing mid out, on an eco round. That's something that you should try to get used to, not specifically calling out more than what you see, but then be like two top mid at least, so that if there's like 3 or more people, the guys wouldn't be, the people on your team wouldn't get affected by it. Also, late round, you should start calling where you shouldn't like disturb your player your teammate when they're playing. Also, you should focus on solo queue and team comms. When you're solo queuing, you wouldn't for 100% know how the guys play in your team and what kind of gameplay they have. So you have to just go with the flow, and you can't like call strats in solo queue. Whereas in team playing, in a team game with like a team that you've already practiced with, you guys should, I don't know, like be able to call strats and then have all this stuff planned out. But that's again in practicing as a team and developing as a team. So again, I've got an activity for you guys. So the activity is, you guys should record yourself, using like any software. Either you have an Elgato card, OBS, anything works. Just record something that records your voice and your game. So record that and listen to your voice and listen to what calls you're giving and your tone. If you're concise, if you're calling numbers, if you have decent tone. Sort of works like demos, but most demos don't have audio in them. So that's why I suggest that you record yourself using OBS or some platform, so that you can improve in game, or you can get better with time. that's all about comms. I'm gonna move on to the next section, which will be the 3 phases of a round.